Do you know what it means? It's a fable. The koi fish who can swim up a waterfall becomes a dragon. I see that look in your eyes.
I understand. In life, sometimes we fight the current. Other times, it's important to flow the river.
To become a Yakuza is a choice. You trade one type of family for another. You can never go back.
Madness, madness.
They don't give a shit about their traditions, or whatever the fuck it is that you're here to try to explain to me. We won.
That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. And now you can get the fuck out of my office.
Madness, madness.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chop-Socky Cinema. As always, your semi-regular dose of water in your diet. I'm Josh.
I'm William.
Roger.
And tonight we focused on a new Netflix original movie called The Outsider, starring Asano Tadanobu and Jared Leto. And the premise is thus: an American soldier imprisoned in post-war Japan enters the dark world of the Yakuza, adopting their way of life in repayment for his freedom. And it says post-war specifically, yet it said it was
1954.
Yeah, 1954.
Yeah. So after Second World War.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing is he starts out with Nick, the main character, in prison. I don't think they ever actually said why he was in prison, did they?
Nope. I was hoping you'd find that out later, but
I mean, there's except for maybe one key scene, there's very little insight into Nick's life before.
No backstory for Nick.
Even though really, I think a lot of the backstory is just Nick pretty much joining the Yakuza because he has no life.
yeah.
One of the things I like about it is that they established very early on that Nick is... There's something wrong with Nick. As in, where he goes from, zero to murderous at the drop of a hat. The first time you see this is that he basically takes a typewriter to a guy's, head.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
And apparently does not kill the man.
Restraint.
They send him in to
Guys
go...
use him 4 times in the back of the head.
Yeah, they send him in to make a deal with the guy, and he comes out, and the guy's like, oh shit, he's covered in blood. And he's like, I handled it.
It went well, let's
He's
get
like,
him a beer.
Did you kill him? Well, he'll live. I don't know what his quality of life would be like, but he'll live apparently.
And Sano Tadanobu, he plays Kiyoshi, basically the guy that pretty much ushers him into this world.
The guy who vouches for Nick in the Yakuza, more or less.
Mm-hmm. And you guys probably would recognize this guy because he actually plays Hogan the Grim in all of the Thor movies.
Yep.
And as far as what he's been known for mainly in Japanese cinema, in the movie Mongol, he plays Temujin. He plays Genghis Khan.
Nice.
Nice.
And of course in Ichi the Killer, he plays Kakihara.
Kakihara, yeah.
Which one was Kageyama?
The one
The
with
dude that
mouth.
unhinged,
The dude with the
unhinged his
mouth.
face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the mouth.
He was
him?
he was.
Yep.
That was a long time ago,
I
dude.
know that. That's why I was like, damn.
And seriously enough, he actually does not consider himself an actor. He considers himself a vocalist because apparently he's the front man for
For a band?
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
And as far as just going down the line, William, what did you like most about this movie?
A lot of the old school traditional, Yakuza stuff that was in here. Well, a good bit of it I remembered from books. Let's say books that I've read.
Mm-hmm.
And Especially, I liked how they explain in this what an actual dice show set actually is and what it signifies.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like the fact that they showed the ceremony of being indoctrinated into the.
Yeah, that was.
I like that.
That was cool because I've seen quite a few Yakuza movies. I don't think I've ever seen one that actually shows that particular ceremony.
Yeah.
Kind of like how in Election there was the one Korean movie that me and you watched.
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't Korean. Chinese. It was about the triad that we watched. And they actually showed the process of, like, some of the processes of the election.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was really cool, by the way, and it's a really interesting movie, and you should watch it.
Yeah, Election is very good. But what I liked about it was the generally, even because they're kind of sparsely paced throughout the movie, but anytime you saw a scene of any action, it's always like quick and brutal.
Always a nice fresh breath.
More realistic to what an action scene would.
Because this is not it is not an action movie. It is a crime movie that has some action sequences
crime
in it.
Drama, I guess, yeah, with sparsely put action sequences. Yeah.
And really, as far as the performances, I think everybody, even Jared Leto, did a good job for the line. He doesn't have a lot of lines in this movie.
Not really.
I think his character was more or less operating on the whole seen but not heard thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of it, that was pretty much how he didn't want to make waves.
Yeah.
Because like he says in the trailer, sometimes one fights against the current or someone goes along with the course of the river, and he generally went along with the course of the river.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the action sequences were good. Really solid performances from the characters. And Raj, what did you like about it?
I like pretty much just the environment and everything. I liked all the shots and like all the pretty much exterior shots. And then the director used a lot of like mirrors in this movie to actually show, I think, the different faces of each character. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little throw in. And really, I appreciate the action scenes because they came very rare. But I like the characters. They fleshed out the characters really well in this one. So you actually know who's who and what's going on, who hates who, and why this is happening. So that's kind of helpful. Some movies don't do that very well.
Oh, and what did you not like about this movie?
Same thing I don't like about a lot of Yakuza movies. Pacing. Like, the scenes that were really good, and they were kind of like, they weren't few and far between. It just seems like getting from point A to point B took forever. Mm-hmm. More than when you actually got there. The scenes that are good are really, really good, but some of the scenes in between, the pacing of them was kind of just a bit slow.
Meandering.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's there, you're kind of wondering why it's there, and then when you get to the actual scene that you're looking for, then it fits a lot better.
Yeah, and as far as what I didn't like about it, just a little bit more, light shined on the character of Nick, like his backstory.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to have known why he was in prison.
Yeah.
I would have, and I mean, just even though they gave you a little bit about his military history,
just like a scene or two.
Because to me, it almost seems like it was more about like how the plot was really driven by how everybody else in his Yakuza family like treated him or saw him. And also the fact that
when you're finally offered some insight into like why he was in prison, you get no closure on that.
Yeah. And also, it's just because of the meandering plot, it seems like there are several scenes that could have been the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And just felt like anytime you watch a movie and you're like, why isn't it over yet? That's generally a sign that it's not, that the movie is not is running a little bit on the long side.
Yeah.
And what about you, Roger?
2 hours.
Yep.
2 hours.
Same here. The pacing was kind of slow. There's a lot of stuff that Nick didn't speak Japanese for the most part of it, so I don't think he understood like the first half of what was going on, and I think he slowly learned Japanese kind of. He spoke a little bit of it, but then like people would speak to him and he'd be just like a blank slate. But that's understandable. And
well, I think part of that was they were expecting him not to know.
Yeah.
So
I think he probably knew more than he let on, but he would just sit there and stare at him, just expecting to see what they were going to do. Yeah, the pacing was kind of slow. I would have liked more action, but they chose to kind of do more story-driven stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of pretty much the director's call on that one. And, I don't know. That was really it. Yeah.
As far as would I actually recommend someone else? I mean, it isn't interesting, especially if you've never actually heard anything about the Yakuza as an organized crime organization family. But I mean, it's really well shot, really nice. So I say it's worth at least seeing once.
Yes.
But
I don't know about replay value.
It doesn't have a lot of replay value.
Well, it might be something to show, like if you have some friends that are hanging out and
They're big, right? They get the Yakuza.
No, just big into any kind of Japanese thing, and if they have any kind of questions about like that, this will answer some questions about Yakuza and the ceremony and all. But
the whole finger thing.
It won't answer history or things like that. It'll just kind of be like.
One of the things that we didn't touch on that I really liked was you actually got to see like a traditional tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Working on Nick's tattoo periodically through the movie.
Ink and needles. Boop, 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 boop.
And that was a nice little montage where it showed him pretty much going every day, and where it showed like just the outline and then the actual color
taking a long time.
The progression of the whole thing.
Yep.
But alright, so as far as ratings, I'm gonna give this about roughly about 3.5 out of 5 paper cranes. I mean, solid performances in it, decent enough story. I just wish it would have gotten there a little bit faster.
Yeah.
No, William, would you rate it?
I'll give it about 3.5. Just for some fact that now looking back on it, that I really wish they had delved more into Nick's backstory.
Yeah.
And so you at least know why he was in prison.
Because I want to say Nick might have been like the character that the audience kind of looked at this through.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't give him much backstory. But yeah, I would have liked to see backstory too.
And the whole thing with something that pops up where you might get a clue, and then
nothing happens.
And then nothing comes of it. That kind of room for me. But other than that, I like a lot of the periodical stuff and the tradition and traditional like ceremonies and things of this nature.
Yeah, I thought it was a very pretty movie and well done performances. The only thing I have to compare it to is other Yakuza movies, like the last Yakuza with Viggo Mortensen or other Yakuza movies I've seen. As compared to those, I wouldn't rate it very high. I'd give it probably 2 stars because this pacing just kills it. And if you're bored in the middle of the movie, then they're not grabbing you. And like the storyline, if you like a lot of storyline, not a lot of action, I'd recommend it. But that's like case by case basis. But
like this one is very accessible. I mean, if you've got Netflix, which 90% of the people that watch this show watched on this channel is probably do have Netflix. Yeah. So, also another great thing on Netflix is they've actually put up a lot more Japanese and Korean content.
Yeah.
Yep. Some dramas and some random TV shows.
And some comedies too. In fact, we will. In the next month or so, we'll be putting up our reviews of Sweet Salaryman Kentaro.
Yep. That's a fun show.
Yeah, which is a fun little
trippy
office. Yeah, fun little weird office comedy.
Yep.
All right, guys. But there you go. That's our review of The Outsider. It's a serious drama that I think would have been a little bit better if it maybe wouldn't have taken itself so seriously.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, we'll catch you next time at the Chop-Socky